Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the final ace match between Zynga and Epic. And I am so delighted to tell you that it's another Zerg vs. Zerg.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like both players bringing out the big guns right now as we see that we have our good friend J-Dub spawning up in the top right. He is the man who won it right off the bat in the very first game of the series. And ShamWow, the man who won it for Zynga, the Zynga Zerg, down in the bottom left.
Now, ShamWow, we saw do a really very awesome, I guess we could say, that Nidus Worm to come back and end up crushing that game. Oh, J-Dub with a little bit of a taunt.
Oh my god, the mind games have begun. And ShamWow actually just got done drinking some milk.
Yeah, that's what that milk. Drank some milk.
Looks like ShamWow now, neither player actually going to go for the 6 pool, despite all illusions that they would. And this map is going to be on Entombed Valley. There's this very odd formation right here where you have a thin ramp, can't see up it, very good spot to plant banelings. You have this fat ramp, again, even though it's wider, you can still put the banelings there. So this first base is kind of easy and hard to defend. It's very open. It's tough to defend the expansion and the main at the same time unless you have solid control over this ramp. So both players need to begin with something that can help them have that mobility. And it looks like both of them are going gas pool.
Yeah, and having that space control is obviously going to be crucial to maintaining that expansion's safety. Oh, and now we see J-Dub moving over his workers over to that extractor. Very standard, and of course, ShamWow doing the exact same.
Now, at this point, there's really 3 things that you can do. One is to leave everything in gas, go Ling Baneling for some huge early aggression. The second thing is you get just enough for gas, and then you take an expansion. And the third thing is you get enough for Zergling speed, and then you begin to transition into Roaches and intend on doing some sort of one-base Roach Ling play. I think neither player will be going for any sort of Roach nest. I really just question who will get the Baneling nest up and who will opt to expand. Looks like ShamWow himself is going to be doing the expand option.
Oh, and just starting his speed upgrade for the Zerg. Both the players starting their speed upgrade at just about the same time, so we won't see another situation where one of the players is going to get a lot of free information.
But it looks like J-Dub has left a few in his gas geyser. Neither player has done any scouting whatsoever, but it looks like both of them know exactly how they want to scout to both positions first and then to mid. Both players doing the identical play. And
and ShamWow moving out. Yep, he is going to throw down that hatch. And it looks like J-Dub has actually kept those drones there. Whoa, where is his... Is he sending a drone somewhere sneaky?
Well,
no, wow, getting out there with his lings.
Looks like he manages to push back through mid, and right now it looks like J-Dub just wants to get that scouting information. Anytime you go for that very early Zergling speed play, it's very easy to poke into the base, pretty much unaffected. Now, J-Dub is going to get a relatively fast hatchery. This Baneling nest is largely defensive Banelings for J-Dub, unless he somehow manages to hit a miracle and hide some Banelings in the main base. He manages to get the run through. He just wants to make sure his opponent has no Banelings before he does much of anything.
And giving that, or now knowing that the coast is pretty much clear, he's going to be free to do whatever he wants. He does have his Banelings of his own that he could potentially build. A little surprised that he didn't try hiding Zerglings anywhere, because I know that I really like always having that chance that if I hide a couple Zerglings in the back of your base, maybe you won't find them and I'll kill 8 drones.
Yeah, I mean, losing any amount of drones at this point in time is going to be a huge tide shifter. It looks like ShamWow retreating with absolutely everything. Both players in defensive mode, but you'll notice J-Dub's defensive Banelings pop up earlier, which means that J-Dub is going to be more comfortable starting Zergling, or drone production earlier. ShamWow, on the other hand, might be committed to sending a good amount of Zerglings to his opponent right off the bat.
And out here, J-Dub just bringing in a couple additional Banelings. We were talking a little bit earlier about just how crucial that space control is going to be as you establish that natural expansion. ShamWow was placing a spine crawler down there as well instead, because he obviously does not have Banelings already out there, but now he does.
Yeah, I mean, this timing of the spine crawler pretty essential because we don't really know when our opponent could be throwing themselves at us. J-Dub throwing down the spine crawler, but also notice he's getting ahead in that drone count. Already 3 ahead, now getting way more ahead. Wow, yeah, in the harvester count we see that already having 25% better economy than his opponent. But either way, with these sorts of huge distances between bases, can't read too much into it for the time being.
And right now, we do see J-Dub moving out with those Zerglings, really just getting as much information as possible, trying to make sure that Zynga's ShamWow isn't getting a little too over-greedy and getting out there and trying to expand once again. Oh, and the quick cleanup on that Zergling in the base, so no more information is gained, and here comes the lair.
Love this choice by J-Dub. Suicided a Zergling in, fairly confident there is no Roach Warren anywhere. Cool. I can rely on defensive banelings, and I'll be in good shape to continue to make drones to go for that Spire tech. Oh, a huge misfire right there by J-Dub, losing a baneling to just one Zergling. J-Dub doing a great job on that Queen energy. Oh, look at the little nest. He's Zerg. J-Dub up in the top right. Meanwhile, the Zynga Zerg definitely has Mutalisk on his mind as well.
And right now, oh, we're actually starting to see, just a little painful, missing some of those and there it goes. Of course he heard me. What was I thinking?
It's like one of those commentator days. Like, he doesn't have, okay, well, there it is going down. His injects, okay, well, there he injected. But you know what, Rob? I'll be the one to say it. The Zynga Zerg has been marginally behind on his injects, and it wounds me. And, ooh, there's a nice timing by the Zynga Zerg, getting a chance to waltz right into the main base, see absolutely everything. And this is going to be a little bit alarming to see that there is a done layer and a lot of drones. The lot of drones is almost certainly going to be the most threatening part. Now, what kind of tech path will J-Dub take right now? He's just going Evo Chamber, Spire. In the other base, it looks like Evo Chamber and Spire it will be.
And so right now, both these players... So this is the ace match, right? Neither of these players want to be the reason that their team loses their second game in the league.
Now, both these players have had the opportunity to be out on the field just once, so that means that they do have a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum behind them, and interestingly, ShamWow is not going to go for that Spire. We don't see the Spire constructed yet. We see a Roach Warren, rather, going down, and that +1 attack upgrade. J-Dub has seen everything. He'll likely lose his Overseer, but now he knows that he's going to be up against a Roaching player. Nice timing on that one inject, even in the midst of that Overseer.
Oh, but will he get over there and finish off the Overseer? Oh! The Zynga Zerg just barely unable to finish off that Overseer. He did opt to get that Larva inject instead. And now up here we see the Epic Surge starting to work down those rocks out in front of his base, possibly preparing to get out and take a third. Oh, and ShamWow gets over there, gets quite a bit of vision, does land the Chainlink, and is now able to get plenty of information. He does see that Spire just about to finish.
There's a big advantage that is not talked about enough, and that is the counter-attack advantage. This generally happens when you are much lower on bases. For instance, ShamWow, with just 2 bases, he can easily throw down 4 or 5 Spore Crawlers and very quickly push with many Roaches and Hydralisks. Ordinarily, it's very risky to push with a lot of Roaches and Hydralisks for fear of that counterattack. However, considering how early we are into the mid-game, an early push could be a big threat by ShamWow right now.
And ShamWow finishing off his rocks. He's going to be opting to take his third very soon, but J-Dub just a shade ahead, not only on supply, not only on income, but now also just a little bit ahead on bases. He also does have his Mutalisk out on the field as well, so he can move across and really start to threaten ShamWow a little bit. ShamWow was the one with the brilliant Mutalisk play that we saw earlier. He did only build a few Mutalisks and got his opponent to build a lot of Hydras and then continued to switch back to his ground army. But now it looks like J-Dub is the one with the upper Mutalisk hand.
And as we see, J-Dub is getting that Zergling attack upgrade, really committing to going Zergling Mutalisk. And we see the exact opposite composition from ShamWow. Roach, Hydra, Infester. There it looks like the Mutalisk show up, trying to claim a little bit of map control. They do get repelled, and expansion will get denied by this sneaky little Zergling.
And will the drone go down? Only a few HP remaining. Ouch. Oh, those Roaches just weren't able to get there and save it in time.
And now ShamWow, the Zynga Zerg, getting that Pathogen Gland upgrade, adding on more Overlords, would desperately look to take that one expansion. Mutalisk continuing to move through the right side. Great angle. He can even try to deny that expansion yet again. Oh, the drone! Wow, gets taken down. I mean, losing 100 minerals might not seem like a lot, but that damages ShamWow's timing and his pride.
So and there's not going to be much of that left if he ends up fumbling this.
Looks like J-Dub trying to do his best to catch ShamWow out of position. Some very nice control, picking off some of those frontal Roaches, but the Hydralis on creep moves so fast. Oh yes, no, will drone number 3 go down? That would be so brutal. No, it won't go down, it'll just be delayed, but right now, If that gets killed off, that would just wound my soul. But no, looks like J-Dub just trying to get map control and doing a brilliant job of it.
Yeah, and right now the Zynga Zerg still very much has a chance. Ooh, losing a Mutalisk. That was actually very, very nice from Sham. ShamWow's got to get in there and continue to pick off, because right now, J-Dub's going to start getting a little bit overzealous. Wow. And speaking of overzealous, take a look at that 12 o'clock expansion. He is taking a 4th base to ShamWow's currently 2 bases.
That is an insane amount of expansions coming up very quickly for J-Dub. And look at this. Looks like he wants to transition back into Roach Hydra. He's used the Mutaling to get himself to an economically advantageous position. And he's hoping to sprint past his opponent's Mutaling count, or excuse me, Roach Hydra count as quickly as he can. In that unit counting station, we do see 7 Hydras and 19 Roaches versus not a lot to be able to withstand that in direct battle. So if ShamWow strikes soon, he is going to be able to take a huge bite out of the juicy apple that is J-Dub's base.
Oh, yeah, and out here we do see that his 3rd is just a little bit over halfway done, and right now ShamWow is going to be in a pretty tough position. J-Dub's doing a great job, but the Zynga Zerg's still got a lot of fight left in him.
Looks like ShamWow is accumulating a larger and larger army. J-Dub unable to pick off. Oh, a great nab with that fungal growth. All the Mutalisks get completely obliterated. The ShamWow Zynga Zerg got exactly what he was looking for. He no longer has to put up with that obnoxious threat of endless Mutalisk harassment. Now we see the drones instantly long-range mining. But ShamWow needs to capitalize on this opportunity quickly. Otherwise, the 4 base count from J-Dub is going to just spring into action.
Now the question is going to be how J-Dub continues to fill that supply that he just lost, because he did have a constantly attacking force that meant that he could fall a little bit further behind and continue to pump his economy back home. But because he no longer has that aggression out there to force ShamWow into a tough position, it's going to mean that he's going to have a difficult decision.
Oh, J-Dub with a very nice counterattack. His Mutalisk might be gone, but he's still going to use his mobile units with that nice set of 1-1 upgrades. A brilliant fungal growth brings all the Zerglings down to virtually no health, but still, it doesn't mean that ShamWow is out of the woods yet. In that army supply tab, we do see that the army lead does go slightly to the Epic Zerg. We see that in the Roach count, very much so in the lead for ShamWow. In the Hydra count, amazingly enough, the opponent from Epic is doing very, very well, and even has some banelings to boot. It's all going to come down to these infestors.
And now ShamWow had, he saw the light. The light appeared to him at the end of the tunnel for just a little bit. Oh, getting in with that clutch heal. Wow. And the awesome fungal growth on all of those Mutalisks right above that Spore Crawler. And now it looks like that last Mutalisk is also going to go down. Oh, only, I think, another 2 hits remaining on that Spore Crawler.
2-0 upgrades now done for ShamWow. We see that the +1 armor about to finish as well. Meanwhile, J-Dub is 1-1 himself, nowhere near being close to the upgrade of ShamWow.
Ooh, and now ShamWow moving across the field. Wow, eats all of the banelings with his roaches. A great place to take all of them, and now we see all the infestors getting in there as well. He's going to need to land a lot of these fungals.
He needs to get those fungals out a lot earlier. He had some very late fungals. The infestors were way behind, and it looks like the Zynga Zerg may struggle to break through this line. Oh, he gets all his own infestors fungaled, desperately trying to spring up as many of those as he can. And in a great exchange for J-Dub, the Epic Zerg in a clear lead, 4 bases up and running, 8 geysers full of drones. Epic, the brand new team in the After Hours Gaming League, up against the runner-up from last season, doing brilliantly in their Week 2 match.
Oh, and now ShamWow, that Zynga Zerg, we saw in the last engagement, if he had just gotten out those fungal growths possibly a little bit sooner and really started to abuse that range before his opponent was able to get his own infestors out there, he could have been in much better shape in that exchange.
J-Dub now advancing forward, going to take out that Overseer up in the top side, it looks like. Ooh, an attempted expand by J-Dub. He will lose a second drone. More banelings trying to sneak up, do anything they can to maybe get some sort of counterattack. Does he even know about this base? He knows all about it. Right now, ShamWow is deeply aware of how far behind he is, and it looks like his choice is going to be to try to get some sort of hive tech up as fast as possible.
And right now, where J-Dub sits, clearly he's already maxed out. He's just going to be saving up his money to remax his army after engagement. But if ShamWow is able to get an awesome position and land some amazing fungals, oh no, his infestors.
Both of them land great fungals against one another. The arc advantage definitely goes to ShamWow by, whoa, he's going to crush that in spades as long as he continues to reinforce with his units. It looks like we see the Hydras from the back dealing a lot of damage. The Infestor count from ShamWow very high. Going to be able to nicely clean this army up. A big win for the Zynga Zerg, who's now trying to establish control of his own 4th base. That burrow upgrade retreat on the Infestor is helping so much in that engagement.
And now J-Dub, we see, has completely depleted his reinforcement monies and is now slowly moving across all of those reinforcements across the map. It actually looks like he might have had a couple stray units stuck across the map as well that really could have helped him turn the tide. Oh, and that roach speed is really paying off, getting in there, getting a nice surround. Oh, and it looks like the fungal growth lasts just long enough for J-Dub to get an additional reinforcement and take down that extra roach force.
Oh, poor ShamWow saw a couple of stray units out there, tried to attack and pick them off, but managed to run right into a fungal growth. J-Dub trying to find a good position, but most importantly, he's cutting off any access to this 4th expansion. And will he actually go over to check it? It looks like, oh, where are the fungal growths? ShamWow misses some big fungal growths in that engagement. He needs to lob down some infested Terrans if he wants to be able to swing the advantage to himself. We see that ShamWow has finished that expansion up, and these infestors are the only thing keeping ShamWow in this game right now.
And now he's going to actually need, you know, at this point he needs additional units ASAP. We also see J-Dub is taking a 5th base as well. Expanding behind aggression is the way to do it. And this is actually going to put ShamWow in a really tough position to hold that, that 6 o'clock out there. And especially with where we see all of those units, I don't know if J-Dub has information on where that Zynga 4th base is.
Well, the real problem, though, is J-Dub knows that as long as he's applying pressure here, hardly even matters if this expansion gets established. What really can he do? Oh my gosh, the traitorous Roach might bring them right back to the front lines. Uh-oh, it looks like a little bit of creep is poking its head out.
But will he see it? That's the question. We see a lot of reinforcements continuing to move across the map, but actually right now the supply count is dangerously close. J-Dub, if he gets caught out of position...
Oh no, J-Dub.
Oh yes, he wants to get in there, land all those fungals. Additional fungals landing down there, it's going to be a bloody mess.
The expansion dies, and that means that even if ShamWow manages to stay alive in this fight, he will be much, much worse off economically. The infested Terrans do finally finish, but J-Dub just simply walks back, gets out of range. The Infestor's trying to sprint at... Ooh, Infestor's accidentally sacrificing himself to the Zynga Zerg. And the epic player, ooh, and a very nice burrow, just enough time to heal and to get those infestors into the fray, but unfortunately J-Dub just has a little bit too much. A great cut off on the backside there. He tries to burrow and run, but the Overseers oversee everything.
Oh, and now ShamWow is going to have a lot of trouble cleaning up this mess.
This is going to be a brutal situation for ShamWow. The Zynga Zerg doing his best to battle forward, but J-Dub very carefully not straying up to the high ground, just staying low, taking more and more bases. Hive Tech now done. 3/3 upgrades on the way. Not even a single Broodlord will be coming as ShamWow just continues to crush it.
Oh, and J-Dub, you know, just really doing what he needs to do, right? You're just going to continue pumping those units out. He's going to start saturating that 5th base. Although, oh, and now ShamWow sending a little sneaky force. If it's able to go in there, maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to get up and pull out a miracle.
ShamWow is going for the Infestor defense plus Roach counterattack, but oh no, he doesn't have any detection at all. These Roaches are going to pop right up from under the ground. Looks like ShamWow's probably aware that there's that little ripple there. Yep, he sees it. J-Dub looking so strong, and there's a line of spine crawlers there to greet the counterattack regardless. The Roaches unburrow, pick off some reinforcements, trying to get these other Roaches out of position, and in the main, a Queen will fall, but J-Dub is in great position.
Oh, yes he is, and there he goes, looking like he may be pushing in for the killing blow. That is a lot of Hydralisks. We don't see any more Infestors over on ShamWow's side, so he's not going to be able to do too much to fight off these Roaches, and just by the sheer numbers advantage, it is looking like J-Dub is likely going to be able to crush through this by the hair of his chin.
And J-Dub, with that very powerful chin indeed, just pretty much breaks it over his opponent's skull. And it looks like ShamWow trying to rally his reinforcements, trying to send anything he can. A couple of infested Terrans catch the drones out of position. And Epic, the new team, takes down Zynga in an incredible 3-2 comeback, down 1-2, withstanding that 8 pool. successfully allowing them to secure another win. Now, Zynga, amazingly enough, is 1-1 after 2 weeks of play. Epic up 2-0 as they are undefeated right now.
Really busting down the doors and showing the After Hours Gaming League that they're here to make some waves.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up this Wednesday cast of the AHGL. For more AHGL action, go to this URL that you are seeing on your screen right now, or ahgl.tv. For more updates, there will be plenty more cast live every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. at day9.tv/live, or go to ahgl.tv to download the replays, get those VODs of other casts, and stay up to date. For now, I'm Day9.
And I'm Rob Simpson.
See you next time for AHGL Week 3.